Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report by Liberty Times, the Japanese government has rejected a diplomatic protest from China after 3 Japan Coast Guard patrol vessels entered the Taiwan Strait to shelter from Typhoon Bavi. According to military observers in Taiwan, the 3 vessels, including the helicopter-carrying patrol vessel Kanbai, the large patrol vessel Taketomi, and the medium patrol vessel Irabu, sought refuge in the strait, using Taiwan's central mountain range as a natural barrier against the fierce winds and waves of the Pacific Ocean. Sources in Chinese and Japanese diplomatic circles revealed that China lodged a protest over the incident on July 13th, but Japan firmly refused to accept it. Japanese officials noted that sheltering in the Taiwan Strait during typhoons is a standard past practice for Coast Guard vessels and that ships from other nations also entered the area during this storm. They suggested that China's strong reaction is likely an overreaction stemming from the recent deterioration in China-Japan relations. According to a report by GG Press, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva on July 13th strongly criticized U.S. President Donald Trump's newly proposed maritime policy. President Trump recently announced plans to demand a 20% payment on all cargo passing through the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz, a key shipping lane for global oil transit. Lula slammed the policy during an event in São Paulo, comparing the proposed fee collection to historical acts of piracy. He stated that demanding such compensation under these conditions was an act that was once regarded as piracy. The tension highlights growing international pushback against the U.S. administration's unilateral economic and maritime enforcement policies, particularly concerning global trade and security in crucial shipping corridors. According to a CNBC report, United Microelectronics Corporation, ITUUM's second largest contract chipmaker, has initiated mass production of silicon photonics wafers at its Singapore facility. This achievement, developed in collaboration with Silva Technology over an 18-month period, aims to address the rising global demand for high-speed optical interconnects in artificial intelligence infrastructure and hyperscaler data center networks. UMC also plans to open its proprietary 12-inch silicon photonics platform for customer development by 2027. In tandem with this operational milestone, Citi analysts have issued an optimistic forecast for the chipmaker. They project a 13% quarter-on-quarter sales surge in the second quarter of 2026, alongside a recovery in gross margins. UMC's financial strength was recently highlighted by a 22.85% year-on-year jump in June sales, reaching NT 33.12 billion billed, although 719.21 million. Although UMC's stock temporarily dipped in Taiwan trading on Tuesday, the company's expansion reflects a broader trend of Taiwanese semiconductor firms, including King Yuan Electronics and Vanguard International Semiconductor, increasing their manufacturing footprint in Singapore as the city-state establishes itself as a vital global microchip. According to a report by Sing Tao, the United States Treasury Department has returned a staggering $81 billion in previously collected tariffs to affected businesses. This massive payout follows a landmark ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court in February, which declared that a majority of the additional tariffs imposed by the Trump administration were illegal, forcing the federal government to issue full refunds. Treasury data reveals that the $81 billion was distributed during the current fiscal year, which began in October 2025. In comparison, only $5 billion was refunded during the same period in the previous fiscal year. Treasury officials disclosed that the surge in refunds was almost entirely driven by the Supreme Court's decision, with the vast majority of the payments being processed and distributed between May and June of this year. While President Donald Trump has championed tariffs as a key pillar of his economic strategy since returning to the White House last year, this legal setback represents a significant financial and policy challenge for Washington. According to a report by Taiwan, AI chip giant Nvidia has significantly reduced its list of Asian customers to comply with U.S. government regulations banning the flow of advanced AI chips to China. Sources indicate that, over the past few months, Nvidia has intensified due diligence on clients in Singapore, Malaysia, and Japan to prevent Chinese entities from using third-party proxies or shell companies to bypass trade restrictions. As a result of these strict reviews, Nvidia's Asian buyer list has reportedly been cut by more than half, with emerging neo-cloud service providers experiencing the greatest impact. Buyers who failed the initial screening are allowed to reapply after making necessary adjustments. This tightening of supply chains follows legal actions in the U.S. against illicit sales, as well as ramped-up anti-smuggling efforts by Taiwanese and Malaysian authorities. Despite these measures, demand in China remains high, causing black market prices for Nvidia's flagship DGX B300 servers to double over the last 6 months, reaching up to 8 million RMB. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.